My summer name is Topopotamus. I'm a sophomore at the University of Illinois.
Everyone knows me as Prototype, and I study accounting at the University of Maryville.
My summer name is CKG.
My summer name is Korean Danny.
I've been playing League for 8 years now.
I've been playing League for about 6 years.
My summer name is Saskia.
Minsu.
Noob. West. I have been playing League of Legends for 7 years.
My summoner's name is Project Juan.
My summoner name is Walrus. I go to Maryville University and I study criminal justice.
I'm graduating from the University of Illinois with a degree in physics.
My summer name is Zeno, and I am a freshman.
My favorite champion is Twisted Fate. He's just a really good solo queue, and his playstyle is perfect for like that kind of like randomized environment.
Daya, because I think the champion design looks cool.
Ari, I really am proud of being Korean, and it's really cool to have a champion like that in League of Legends.
It's kind of dark, but like a moo-moo, because when I first started the game, League of Legends was like my out from like bullying.
My favorite champion in League of Legends is definitely Fiora.
Shaco, because of the jukes you can make and the big out plays you can make.
I like having like a mini game where I'm proccing vitals constantly.
Kled. I haven't really got to play him very much anymore because I roll up as support, but still love the guy. So much fun to play.
Kai'Sa. It used to be Vayne, but the new champion is just too much fun.
Yasuo or Riven. Like, I'm not that good at them, but sometimes my teammates will have to suffer for my fun.
Rivington the third here, and Rivington is how I got my name. Cyrene?
Mine is a very long story.
Sweet.
We don't have time for that.
Welcome back for game 2 of Maryville University versus Illinois of the 2018 College Championship presented by State Farm. We are about to see if Maryville can kind of right the ship here. A very fast game after 20 minutes coming from the University of Illinois, and they were absolutely looking for the Nexus, and nothing else that Maryville would put in their way stopped them.
Yeah, it was team fight after team fight over and over again.
Crazy.
And then they kind of edged them out and started winning the team fights harder and harder on the side of Illinois. And then they eventually just closed the game out. And that 8th seed upsetting the #1 seed and the defending champions is absolutely huge. Illinois have the momentum, and they're on double match point to move themselves past and knock out this almost behemoth of the tournament that people are expecting to see in the finals.
And we talked a little bit about him before. Zeno, the freshman coming in, as you just heard from himself, also the only one on the team to hit top 50 in Challenger, or Challenger, I should say, coming into this split. He played outstanding, and there might just have to be a bigger focus on him in Champion Select to make sure he is not on something that can control the game, map-wide macro aspect of it, and kind of keep him just in mid.
Yeah, try to make sure that they lock him down, but I want to see what happens here because they have it swapped sides. It's going to be blue side for Illinois, who got side selection this game, and it's exactly the same, which means that you probably won't get your hands on Kai'Sa, Xayah, Rakan, or anything like that if you're Maryville. So I don't expect the bans to change too much from the side of Illinois.
Right.
They banned Rakan, Zoe, and Graves. I think those would probably stay here.
Just bobbing the head and thinking. Deep thoughts. What will they try? The Zoe Rakan, like you said, stays. I don't know if they're worried about the Malphite or much of anything if Illinois kind of plays reactively throughout this one. I think they just kind of do what they want still and feeling that comfort level. Take a long time for Maryville here to get their second ban as they consider what it will be. And it will be that Kai'Sa. I think it wanted to be either a second or third, but which one comes first? Kai'Sa was a known. We'll think about the third.
Yeah, but they ended up not banning in the last game. They banned Aurelia and Trundle in those spots, but they just threw the Talia up there, said they don't want to see that one again from Zeno, who had already played things like Ryze, Ori, and Azir more than that. And so the Kai'Sa jumps up there and trying to make the bottom lane a little bit more, I would say, quote-unquote, even, because the invisibility from Kai'Sa and the fact that she's meta makes it so she's incredibly potent, and then it's hard to just navigate these team fights versus her or something like an Ezreal even, I think is actually quite good.
Potent Pokeballs.
Potent Pokeballs. Hey, there's the Ezreal we were talking about.
Yep. So no more double potent Pokeballs out.
I feel like a lot of these champions that have ways to move around that are in the AD carry position have all kind of been taken away here. So we're not looking at too many more in the meta. Maybe like you could fit a Tristana in there or something, but we are going to get new Aurelia.
Locked in. Oh, quickly locked in against Fiora as well. Topopotamus versus Saskia as they pick their own champions. We'll see what they could be backed up by here if we don't get support AD carry to start things off.
So I will temper this and say that Aurelia is a flex pick and is very good mid as well.
Yes, this is true.
It's funny because a lot of bruisers have always had high win rates versus mages mid, like Wukong mid in solo queue has always had a really high win rate. And then Aurelia actually has jumped up as something that can go in that mid lane too. But look at this from Maryville. they've already locked in Ornn here. Potentially support, potentially top lane, and then Fiora's mid. Already, this is all over the place here. And I'm not sure what to make of this. Help me out, Riv.
Saskio says, we don't want to have West deal with the Braum ultimate. I'm sorry, Ornn ultimate with the Braum, but looks like now that's going to be Noob's job as he takes the Braum out. So they swap that back and forth. I don't think it does much for either team. It just makes the comfort for Saskio there.
Yeah, we'll see how Noob plays it, though, because West was constantly stopping the slow with the shield instead of the knockup, and just kind of getting rid of everything at once. But yeah, low mobility AD carries are now going to be the name of the game here, and it means that we're going to be seeing more from both of these teams in terms of trying to kill the AD carrier, the marksman of the team. Kind of like putting a prototype said, all right, that Ashe, it really kind of sucked to have being dove every game. Now it's time to make it so that Korean Danny also has to feel that pain.
Yep. Interesting how they slide out of matching each other there in phase 1. Karma actually banned out for Xeno here from the side of Maryville. And Jinx is going to be taken away from Prototype, possibly as well. Maybe a Vayne. You could always play Caitlyn to just be safe in lane.
Well, Caitlyn's banned.
Oh, she is.
Zaya
right.
wouldn't
Correct.
have Rakan. Kai'Sa's gone. Ezreal's gone. Jinx is gone. He loves Vayne, and Vayne Morgana is quite good, but Tristana, it's funny because Tristana is actually countered by Varus, so you have a better lane matchup for Illinois in terms of the AD carry. So they may be putting him in a situation where they're just pushing him down this tier list in terms of like the meta AD carries. Ah, the Kog'Maw. That's another one. Just knocked away. So yeah, they're pushing him really far down on that list here.
Illusion, Twitch, MF, everything. Ziggs. Just say forget it and go AP. Put that AD mid. Give CKG something to fight with. So Tristana is going to be the pick along with Morgana on the bot side. Easy black shields for safety and buffering that rocket jump to get himself out of problems.
Yep, means that the former strategy that they had in the last game, where it was go after Prototype, he's the sole damage source of the team, that's not going to be the name of the game here for Illinois. He can jump away, he can buster shot people away, he's going to have a black shield for self-peel, and then there's multiple people on this team that can already help him peel and like get away.
Ooh, there it is. We are going to get Topopotamus giving that Aurelia over to Xeno. And Korean Danny will trade Maokai to the top side.
Yeah, because like they locked in Fiora Ornn for Maryville, and then they locked in Morgana, which means the Ornn is going top, the Fiora is going in the mid lane, and then you have your support already locked in. So, see what happens. Actually, he might do this. I actually don't think it's awful, but
oh, the Ivern in the fist bump. He is very happy with the selection. I thought we might have gotten an Eve for a second, but we haven't seen the Ivern play in quite some time.
Yeah, one of the biggest things about Varus is Varus doesn't have defensive tools. So when you build a team around Varus, I'm always looking for shields and peel. I'm always looking for how much are you going to be able to go ahead and make it so that he's enabled. Because some of the best Varus in the world, things like praise Varus, it's because he has Gorilla playing Janna on his side.
Yeah.
It allows him to position in that 575 range, and Varus has one of those very high attack speed builds, the on-hit builds. The passive comes into play. You're breaking attack speed caps sometimes with lethal tempo and whatnot, so you really do need to be able to stand your ground, almost like a Kog'Maw, right? So the Ivern's going to help that. The Braum is going to help that. And then they have a lot of physical damage here, though, on both sides.
I'm interested to see if these summoners change. Obviously good in game, but that Ignite for CKG to start things off early might just be a quick hit, get out of lane, here's that Ignite, and I can start getting a level advantage. I'm liking the aggression coming out for second game. Sometimes you see a losing team or a winning team be complacent with that or just want to play reactive. Both teams brought out what they wanted to bring out this game with a little bit of that, this goes well against your team. So pulling out all the stops, not playing with any worry here from Illinois or Maryville, and that's what we want to see in the Collegiate Championships. We are about to head into Game 2 with University of Illinois. Up one game.
Yeah,
Big
unexpected. Unexpected.
In a
match
best of
point.
3.
Double match point here. Maryville, the #1, the favorites coming in. Gonna have to turn it around here in the composition that they have. Very heavily focused on Prototype again, but also CKG is gonna have to step up here.
Yes.
Has a much higher damage champion for him this time, with the Fiora in the mid lane, going up against Xeno, who is that star carry here of this team. Woo. On the Aurelia.
We'll have to see. It is the Grasp Ignite in there for CKG. And Zeno did keep his teleport. So the aggression there in the mid lane for kill pressure. But Zeno says, I'll come back if you'll try that kill pressure. Go ahead and use it.
Yeah, and it's also Zeno with press the attack here. So I expect him to look into a little more tank busting, frontline busting here. It'll help him get through Walrus and Saskia. But it means he doesn't have that Conqueror, which a lot of people do favor the Conqueror just because of flat AD. But because you have so much attack speed, and I believe the Q also helps, you're going to get yourself in a spot where you can constantly keep that press the attack going. But this mid lane matchup, I cannot tell you that I am familiar with this mid lane matchup. So I am learning just as much as you are.
This is fantastic. I will learn with you.
So I'll talk more about the jungle matchup, where both these guys are pretty much the most annoying junglers on the block up against each other. So it comes down to trying to keep these junglers out of lanes and finding them in their jungles. So if both of them are trying to find each other in the other jungle and not enable the lanes, it becomes a bit of a tag game where you want to stop Ivern from farming the camps, you want to stop him from counter jungling, but the same thing for the Nunu. So he'll start on the bottom side. I wonder what the Ivern route is, because you start bottom sometimes. Sometimes you go to the enemy jungle very early on. We'll see what he does, because you don't need a leash. So he'll go one camp into two. And if he goes to the left, okay, he's going to his jungle. He's just doing kind of a safe clear here for the Ivern. Whereas Walrus, you see, he's already smited his red buff, and he's running over to the other side. I think he might go buff to buff here, just so he can get... Oh, no, he's going to stop at the wolves.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, because it was just like, what happens if the Ivern had gone through to the other side? But they put down a ward in the pixel brush to make sure that he doesn't, and he's going to feel a little bit better.
Hi, friend, says Project One as he gets his jungle. Ooh, nice and sorted out. And the damage from CKG early, not throwing the Ignite down just yet. He wants a closer kill pressure, but great hit to start things off. 7-3 on that first wave, and it looks like a lot of this will crash low health into that turret.
Yeah, and so
he's going to keep it. Oh, dirty.
Zeno does have a lot of potions. Oh, man. The procs here on the Vitals.
Not helping.
Pretty rough. Oh. He used the W and CKG didn't go in. Interesting, because the W would actually not reduce the damage on... Oh, wait. Hold on.
Jungler intervention here. Walrus and CKG there. The dive forward. Flash coming out from Project One. They're going to follow. Ice Blast hits, and it's going to be the slow. Double buffs from mid lane. Oh, my God. That's huge for CKG.
Finds him after he loops back to the bottom side of the map. And now the Aurelia is also on the wrong side of the map here, too.
Zeno thought he had a little bit of time to play in lane. Gets that duet left, and he tries to Blade Surge forward. Gets defied and denied. Walrus picks up kill number 2 in the game. The Maryville University is off to a huge start. Saskia dashes forward. The few hits on Hippopotamus might get the heal in the passive in, and it keeps him alive. The fact that he threaded that auto attack in, but they are attacking on all fronts. Shock and awe from Maryville University as they hit another one onto Noob in the bot lane. Explosive shot hits, and the Ignite takes Noob down to 100 HP.
And that was just a sequence of events that went from bad to worse for Illinois. The fact that they gave the double buffs over to CKG, and Project couldn't really get out of that, but look at this. Walrus is coming top side. He's going to throw a snowball. He can take the damage. He's going to keep him there.
Oh, this is one of those real feel-bad moments, man.
Yep. And Walrus will take aggro. It's up to Saskia to finish it.
Beautiful job. Takes aggro, steps out of range already. Saskia can stay, and look at the size of that minion wave. Teleports up, but he's going to miss a few.
Yeah, he is going to miss a decent amount there, but he'll recover a bit. Let's watch this one more time. Walrus is doing the scuttle crab. Sees Project. Project isn't looking or something. Walks straight past. He saw him in broad daylight there. And Walrus just walks up, gives him a back massage with the Nunu red buff. Slows him after flashing. They know they can go for it. And now that he slowed him down enough, that's CKG picking that one up. And then it looked like he wanted to shove the wave. But the Blood Boil gives you so much movement speed. The dodge right there on the stun. And then Zeno doesn't blow the flash. Instead, just drops there. Was not expecting that much damage through the W. And even on the top side, I actually think Saskia should have killed Hippopotamus in the one-on-one.
Right.
But it was the brittle had just worn off. And he E'd a little bit too early, so it didn't go off on the Q. So it was like tiny Ornn things. But he still got the kill. Walrus got a part of it too. But yeah, Walrus has done a good job of upsetting these lanes. I thought it would be like
they needed to stop him from doing.
I thought it would be tag in the jungle, but when he found the enemy jungler, they just went ahead and said, all right, time to get my lane ahead.
If they found him early, it just said, you are it. Don't worry about it.
It's a very untraditional type of game. And then the fact that the top lane had been set up for a kill that should have happened from Sasuke just means he gets to partake in it now. But, oh.
Turret shot. Oh, this could be huge. A nice dodge there. Kind of pulls in Project One for this, but I don't think that was his initial engage there. He was trying to get some damage, but a little too close under the turret.
Wait, can we talk about this pick, though, for a second? Because Illinois pulled out the Aurelia first pick. It was banned in the previous game, so Maryville obviously looked like they had some knowledge that the mid laner was going to play this. And then CKG immediately, they picked Fiora and Ornn, saying, Top Hippopotamus isn't going to play this. This is 100% going mid, and we're going to play Fiora into it. And this is a matchup that I don't even know if Zeno has enough a lot of experience in, but CKG seems to have a lot of experience in it because he picked it almost immediately in that first pick.
Yeah, there's no hesitation.
Yeah.
Already 42 to 28 CS. That's going to mean you're hitting 6 way before your opponent. He already did. CKG is now 6 in mid. He can get that challenge down if he wants to. Zeno's going to have to dash or use that flash finally to get away. Not too much forward vision has been placed as Maryville is working on CKG in the mid lane. Everything's staying in the river right now. We are about to see a little bit of action towards the top side if Walrus doesn't just go through his jungle.
And Walrus, it seems like he's been paying more attention to the lanes than he has his own jungle here. Still has a lot to actually pick up and get himself to that level 5 point as his red buff comes back up. But his laners are in a good spot. Sasuke winning his lane, and then you also have CKG winning his, and you're seeing that right here.
I was like, how does CKG have a knockup?
He might land.
Ooh, nice flash. A little bread and butter there as he gets himself to the right side of the in and out.
Yeah, got the flash out of Top Hippopotamus, and Sasuke still has TP, still has flash, so he's way more effective across the map right now. And all the lanes are winning for Maryville. Prototype is up in CS. Mid lane also up in CS for CKG. And the top lane just got the flash and the teleport from earlier, so Sasuke is winning this matchup as well. Right now, it's kind of been a jungler's paradise where if all your lanes are winning, you pretty much have to do nothing. Just ward for them.
Oh boy. Top Hippopotamus really hasn't been able to back by too much either. A possible kill coming in here. Sasuke has not attacked just yet, using the crowd control to get onto him, and they are going to get him locked up just inside turret range with that Nature's Grasp. Beautifully done.
Actually, that was, so fun stuff here. You can be hit by multiple parts of Nature's Grasp. It's not just a single root that you get hit by. He actually got rooted twice there by the same ultimate from Maokai. Oh.
Double unfortunate.
Yes, double unlucky is, I guess, what I will call that one.
CKG back to mid lane. Oh, he's got the Vital right up front. Number 1 is hit. His Dragon is going to be taken by Maryville University, staying true to their objective control here in the early parts of the game. And now with even more pressure on the map, this comes pretty free. They do have to lose a little bit of lane pressure, but nothing they cannot recoup.
Yep. And especially since it's an Ocean Drake, that allows you to stay in lane longer and take a little bit of an extra beating. Looks like they're starting something bottom lane. Go look for some wards, but oh man, this mid lane matchup.
Forcing her
CKG
into the fight, throws down the ultimate, tries to get the stun and to do it, but cannot. And now they're just going to be on to CKG. It's a party in the mid lane. Daisy gets the knockup, but both Illinois members have to flash out of this. Walrus and West can't get around the Raptors for a Q. Oh, so close, but he could have put himself in a bad spot. As we have the rotation now from the bot lane. Everybody's getting interested, but Prototype, he's been left alone and now 20 CS up.
That's kind of what Prototype likes as well.
Yeah.
He's the guy who, you know,
here we see
when you play Vayne and you farm the side lane for a living, that's kind of a natural habitat for him. Up 20 CS already at 10 CS per minute.
Okay, 1, 2, Buster shot back, so damage misses. Oh, he hasn't connected the bite yet.
Yep.
Oh, quick walk out. Ult for ult, and no flashes blown there.
Yep. It's so funny because, like, I actually used to play a lot with Prototype. Like, we used to do a whole bunch, and I see a lot of his tendencies are still the same, where he likes to, he's very good mechanically, but he relies on that a lot. Instead of relying on his team,
that situation.
Yeah, it's basically, instead of relying on his team, he'll rely on his mechanics to outplay you in a situation that he probably shouldn't have been in the first place. But because he's so good, he can do it, right? It's like, but it provides pressure for the team.
Yep.
And we see it coming through there because he's already at that 10 CS per minute mark, and he'll pick up and try to like 1v9 all the games.
Yeah.
He's very good at farming and picking up that CS, but
Ruh-roh.
doesn't always kind of lean on his team. Likes to do things himself. But we'll see CKG also alongside Walrus.
Throw down the W. There it is. Throws it down, mitigates a bit of damage, keeps himself safe, and the TP gets canceled on that.
West, once again, trying to visit that mid lane. I talked to West in between games. He actually role swapped 2 months ago. So he's had to actually like learn support on the fast track. Mostly because I think it was the, they had lost Papa Chow in the previous year. And so they got a new support, but then I think that support actually became ineligible academically. And so he had to kind of pick up the reins, swap from top lane to support. You still see kind of the aggressive tendencies that he'd like to have from top lane shining through. He's not someone who likes to let the game kind of just happen, which is always funny for a support player who is playing something like a Morgana, because they're going to be less on the black shield, more on the bindings, right?
Absolutely. You create all that fog of war, but it helps because they're looking to get into that dark vision, find a way they can get those Qs out. It always kind of helps. Ah! Scuttled down.
Freed.
Yeah, freed. But come back. So let's look at some of the inventories. Things are looking pretty good in terms of being kind of getting into a fight right now. Sasuke with that Aegis. The rest of the team having a few core items here. Looks like they may try to put that to the test. Walrus seen by minions, I believe, there. So slows things down, at least for the top side. A completed jungle item here for Walrus as he's going around. And Project, I believe, just has to go back at this point and finish his up.
Yeah, these are those Maryville wards that we were seeing before. They like to ward between mid and bottom side. And then Sasuke, who's done a good job of holding his teleport or not using it at inappropriate times, had a TP advantage earlier, used it, and now, is this going to be a dive? CKG, potentially, yeah, top Potamus would have to hardcore outplay here again.
He has that magic resistance mitigation at this point. None of that armor defense, and the shots are going to come in. A good heal for Topopotamus, a few more hits, but CKG does get the kill as Sasuke is full tank on the dive.
And you can see CKG very familiar with this pick. The mechanics are coming through there, and he's just playing this Fiora up against the Aurelia and basically putting him in a deadlock there, because he got those early kills, and sure, the CS is close, but his pressure is just so much higher here. He's playing to the side lanes a little bit more.
Zeno was able to take him down below half in that last fight we kind of saw in mid, and he says, you know what? I'll bring that pressure to take down Topopotamus over and over. 2-0-1 as he can make that fight harder for Zeno as well, as he's been having to stay in lane, clean up the minions, make sure that Project 1 isn't getting pushed in either. West grabbing brush control as Maryville push up a bit.
And it's funny because I remember last year when I was talking to Mark Z, and I think it was also Medios or something, and it was like, who's this CKG guy? Where'd he come from? And I was like, oh, it's formerly known as a CAC god, right? He's like, oh, he's like, that's him? Because he like basically dropped off the face of the earth. He was somebody who was very high in Challenger for a really long time, and he kind of just went away. And it was like, oh, he actually ended up in the collegiate scene and has already won 1 championship, but is a fantastic mid laner. You can see right there, the Aurelia stun, just timing it and holding his W. So he's doing it reactively instead of preemptively and guessing. And that's a huge difference there between a good player and a great player, because CKG is reacting. He has the reaction time to do that. And that's something you only see out of like those really good carry top laners.
Spell immune, there it is again.
Or the mid laners that have that kind of like to play Zed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not just relying on wave clear abilities, but also just mechanical skill here.
As we normally see that jungle item before, I should say. Oh, good damage coming in from CKG. Redemption coming in that was just finished by Project 1. And it looks like it does not continue the fight, but allow Zeno to stay in lane a little bit longer with safety. That pressure is going to be matched. West will see Project 1 here, so they actually have to be a little bit more careful knowing where he is routed.
And something that needs to be kind of taken into account here for the state of the game is you don't have a wave clear mid. These are melee mid laners. So your wave clear is coming from your Tristana, if you're Maryville, and then also on the side of Illinois, it's coming from the Varus a little bit. So you have really low in terms of range wave clear, and it's not even that potent or that explosive unless the Tristana is like a little bit ahead. But you don't have that. It's going to be coming down to split pushing, I think, and Zeno has that TP. So if they can hold in the game, I think a 1-3-1 is a very viable strategy for Illinois.
They're using West very well up and down the river as well. If they can get Walrus and Prototype on the Dragon, West is helping mid lane, at least to get pressure, but stay out of the minion range, so he is still up.
It's because they have the pushing and they have the pushing bottom lane and the double ranged bottom lane. So you constantly push them to the turret, Prototype stays and gets damage, and then you control the river. And you can see they're about to take this turret down, as a lot of people are kind of trying to come into attendance here in the bottom side. It's almost roll call here. Aurelia's down here, Xeno, and then they also have the Ivern right behind.
Teleports are up for the top side. A lockdown for both of those top laners, though, so they have to be careful when to use it. It looked like Xeno wanted in for a moment, but they hold back.
Yeah, threw out the ultimate there, and then he got hit by Prototype with the Buster Shot for the disengage, so had no way to really continue that fight afterwards. But there's the TP from Xeno. Means he won't have that for bottom side. CKG just left him a big present in terms of a wave, so CKG is going to go bottom now. And Aurelia has to clear this as fast as possible to try and match.
Cleaned up pretty quick, but he does not have vision of what he's chasing either. This becomes very scary, and he is seen all the way down. The knowledge from Maryville University could be the engaged. No black shield to start, but they're going to plow right through that and get the finishing damage onto West. Redemptions comes down, and he does the same. West cannot help for the rest of the fight. He got the ignite out, even the heal from Prototype, but University of Illinois was quick to react.
Yeah, it looked like he was double rooted there too. It was Korean Danny throwing out the ultimate, and then West not being fast enough, and then also it was the Q there on top of it from the Ivern, so they both hit him.
Getting nice and close with that Ivern Q as well. Really helping to secure the kill as we come up onto 20 minutes. Reminiscent of game one, how much Maryville is pressuring and working the lanes. But this time, University of Illinois coming back a little bit faster.
Yeah, coming back just a tiny bit faster because Maryville, they owned the early game, they owned that part of the river, but look at the river now. It's completely in control of Illinois, and they haven't lost their bottom turret yet. And you know that's where Maryville are going to focus. They're going to try to go for that bottom turret. They're going to try to push in with Prototype. It's a predictable strategy, and I don't know if they'll be able to punish it because it looks like their back timers are a little bit off. Yeah, they just checked and said, okay, it's time to just shove this down. Yeah. So I don't think you go bottom lane. Yeah, looks like they're swapping it. Braum and Varus.
Yeah, we just got it back from top of Potamus too.
Yep. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to swap Xeno out of the mid lane potentially. No, it's going to be the top lane. I was thinking like maybe you have him swap out of the mid lane. You try to siege there.
Long lane.
And then you try to already start 1-3-1ing with the Aurelia picking up side lane farm. Because if the Aurelia gets ahead, it becomes really good. But he's already ahead in CS. He's down in kills. But with the Trinity Force completion, Aurelia feels like a different champion when she has that item. The cooldown reduction and just making it so that the Blade Surge really does do a lot of damage. She has the attack speed behind it. It's almost like Camille. When you hit 2 items on Camille with the Trinity Force and a Tiamat item, she feels like a completely different champion. It's the same thing here for Aurelia. And they just look like they're just making a power play here for the Rift Herald. TPs?
Quick root and some saplings from top of Potamus to keep an idea of what's going to be coming in from the side of Maryville University. The vision is cleared out there, and Maryville will try to route them down through mid. The minion wave is possibly there, but they got to be careful of Shelly now in the hands of top of Potamus.
So something interesting here is Prototype's actually gone for Phantom Dancer first item, as opposed to going for something like the Static Shift for wave clear when in this composition that lacks wave clear, or the Rapid Fire Cannon, which would be very good for getting those kind of pot shots on turrets. He's going for the Phantom Dancer and saying he might just be a 1v1 threat, or just trying to reduce the damage that he takes from something like an Aurelia, right? You need to stay alive against it, and instead of buying a defensive item, he goes for one that's a mix.
Oh, we'll keep an eye on how many times it's kept him alive. Aurelia ult goes down, but they can't close the distance, so it's going to be Noob to flash forward with the Glacial Fissure. Absolute zero under the turret to prevent the dive, but they have Shelly to clear that out. And remember, they're going to be able to walk through it.
This is the buffed Shelly, so she's going to do a lot of damage to that turret, took it down, and she's going to do a lot to this one too. Even though she's lower HP, it's still going to be half.
Denying bits of vision with these with the brush here from Project One on that Ivern is really denying the retaliation from Maryville University. They're going to be able to get to safety here. Flawless duet coming in from the Aurelia in the mid. Xeno making sure they get stunned as they walk out safely.
Yeah, and that means that Prototype, who is farming up on the top side, sure, he's 60 CS up, above that 10 per minute mark, but hasn't meant anything just yet because they haven't gotten him into these fights on this Tristana, and the Rage Blade was already completed for Korean Danny. But look at that, Prototype's already 3 levels up. It's just been that solo experience. 2 levels up now, the Korean Danny just ticked over.
See if they can play that protection game. Maryville University, I gotta say, still doing a good job at spreading the map a little thin and causing University of Illinois to react. However, impressed by the way they have been reacting, so both teams really have an advantage in that. Who just kind of topples it? Who gets that little bit of a lead? It looks like Maryville is really pressuring for it.
Yeah, Maryville are pressuring for it, but look at the gold. It's
exactly
even. And it's just the difference in dragons here that is putting Maryville slightly ahead, I would say, but it is neck and neck.
Oh, Ardent Sensors again as well. Feels good. Project One pulling out all the utility on that Ivern pick, as he should.
And right now, it looks like Prototype, even though he already had the Phantom Dancer, he went for another Brawler's Glove on top of it for more crits. This may be double Zeal before he even goes Infinity Edge, which means that he's really lacking attack damage, but he does have Press the Attack, which means that attack speed is just better for him. So getting those 3 attacks off just makes it so that you proc it, you get that extra damage. And so I can understand this path. I want to see what he does with this build from here, though.
Proto Chad.
Proto Chad. I mean, 80 carries. I feel like you always go for that
Yeah.
build.
21 minutes on the clock. A drag and grab down and nicely. Ocean Drake to the side of University of Illinois. Top lane taken down is a gold influx. Globally comes in from those turrets. That'll be very nice for Maryville University. Get a few more item cap off for themselves. Well, what's going on down here?
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to get
They're gonna
behind
say yes
CKG,
or no.
but also it's just to fend him off the turret, right?
Yeah,
Push him away from the turret. They use the Banner of Command earlier on it, and this just means Xeno's in a really good spot now. He's up a little bit in experience, but he also has the Trinity Force completion because he didn't go for something like a Ravenous Hydra. He went Tiamat into Trinity Force. I think Sterix is the next item you get on the Aurelia, whereas CKG spent a lot of money on the Ravenous Hydra to try and keep him in lane after trades. And so he doesn't have the Trinity Force just yet, but it'll help him out a lot. And I do want to see what Xeno goes for. I think you go Titanic as well on Aurelia, because I think you care less about the attack damage and the lifesteal, and you care more about just the diving in and not getting blown up and having more HP.
Yeah.
I think it's Sterix,
Stronger with Sterix,
and then
right.
eventually Titanic, because it's also an auto reset. Oh, we'll see though.
Yeah, so our pickaxe now. Prototype gets a little bit more damage under his belt. We have that stopwatch for West. A little bit more playmaking potential for Morgana with a pretty big purchase there for himself, but going towards the Zanyas overall. Everybody's hitting a few of those items, as I said, the playmaking items, trying to get that last hit in here. Project One's had the redemption for a while. You talked about that Triforce for Xeno. We haven't really seen him go off on it just yet, as the bot lane has been Farmville for CKG and Xeno here. 221 to 209. Yeah, Prototype still has been fed those minions in the mid lane. See Saskio and Topopotamus, his teleport about to come back up, so we may see a play from that. Start to get their vision in around that Baron pick. Power and numbers here for Maryville University. It doesn't seem like either team can get too many of those wards forward, but nice job by University of Illinois to start doing so right now. Find out what vision they can use to get an attack on.
We'll see right now, because waiting in the bush, they got to pick.
How about that? You spread the team thin. You got some people doing wards up top, but you find West not even able to use the Zanyas, or that stopwatch, I should say, and the kill comes in. Bufford Alba Prototype. The arrow still follows from Korean Danny as he eagle-eyes that one down. 2 members for Maryville University waiting to respawn here, as Illinois is going to look for a way in, and the minion wave is right behind them for mid.
They get to have this push on it too. That is insane where they're able to pick that one up. Prototype looked like he didn't realize what was going on underneath his feet, because that was the Korean Danny ultimate spreading from one person to the other to finally to him. But now, Illinois in command of this game.
Wow. They said they didn't feel like the 8th seed, and they are absolutely showing it here against #1 defending champs Maryville University. Backs against the wall, and now University of Illinois will back feeling very good against Maryville for a few final pushes. Baron's still on the map, hopefully for them. They don't get pulled into a erroneous fight around.
But watch this chain of corruption. It goes from West to Nunu, and Prototype stays there long enough that he's rooted now too.
Does lock him, it seems like it comes back to him.
So it went across 3 people, and he was the final one there, because it didn't look like it was actually going to root him. It didn't look like the indicator was there, but because it landed on the Nunu, it then started to respread.
The Phantom Dancer has defied 1 death. However, we saw the result of not defying a death as well. So paying off a little bit.
Yeah.
Depending on how much gold that one saved, with the rest of the team staying alive in accordance. Whoop. No retaliation there. They're just saying, get off my wards. As these picks are now going to mean a lot of ground in the game, no matter what happens.
Hello.
Someone goes down, and that is going to be a full lane of turrets falling with it, most likely.
So I'm looking at the build from Korean Danny, and
Hey, Stinger.
Stinger builds into Trinity Force or Nashor's Tooth.
Yeah.
And there was a AP Varus build going around for a while where you had Rage Blade, Nashor's, and then Death Cap, and then you'd also get potentially Zonias in there too. So if you got Dovon, because his W.
Because if we got Dovon,
wait,
no, nice blast! Oh, he lives. He would have lived as well. Project One still gets the shield. They're going to retaliate, seeing all those ultimates on cooldown. The Oran Horn gets blown and it flies through the team. He actually cannot knock it back. Sasuke's crowd controlled. Korean Danny living with a sliver of health, but limps himself in for helping that kill. Topopotamus picks it up. What a turnaround. University of Illinois reacting to that fight.
That's another fight that goes the way of Illinois. They turn that one around, and it's just barely in their favor, but they got a lot of key flashes there. And they use some of their own, but the Infernal Drake is up in a minute, and that will be a bloody fight. But let's see it one more time. Korean Danny.
Oh, there it's Prototype doing what Prototype does.
Well, Prototype jumps in on him.
It looks
He
good.
levels up.
Oh, my word. So
Almost.
close.
That is a sliver of HP, but you see Korean Danny just walks back up. He's like, I don't care. Sasuke, rooted, can't use the ultimate and redirect it. You saw Korean Danny was like, oh no, it's coming for me.
Oh, my word.
Just barely makes it out. That's crazy.
And he goes back in. That's one of my favorite things to see in players of any league role, what event you're playing is. If you look like you're going down, do as much damage as you can. And he stood tall in that fight, knowing it could have been one more hit, but my team's coming out on top.
Yeah, just don't be a reset. That's all I ask. Just go in only if you feel like you can do more damage.
Really good
Trust me,
point.
no, just don't be a reset.
Coming up towards 27 minutes again, University of Illinois working a lot quicker here than game one, where Maryville was able to get their footing, find a way down those middle lane of turrets, and basically the outer ring in the first 20 minutes, and not so much here in game two.
I feel like Maryville are now saying we're trading Infernal Drake for Baron. Remember, Baron got buffed, a lot of HP. They're going to have to try and burst it down.
Prototype has a bit of damage to do this. He's on the outside, though, has to watch his positioning, hops to the left.
That's his hop down, though.
That is his hop down. Ultimate out for Zeno. Could dive in, goes right for Prototype, gets hit to the back of the pit. He's going to take a bit from Baron there. On to Prototype and just instantly cuts him down. Surgical by Zeno in this fight to make his way through 5 members. Absolute Zero is just going to chill the fight for a little bit. But University of Illinois are heating things up.
That was huge from Zeno. Zeno goes in, he doesn't die, and he actually threw his ultimate at Prototype. Prototype walked through the wall, which disarms you. You can't attack during that time. And so Prototype was not hitting the Baron, and that allowed the team to take longer to kill it. And then that allowed Illinois to get much closer, get in there, and now you're looking at a Varus that's 4-0-3. Korean Danny is starting to take over this game.
Absolutely crazy, relentless pressure here from University of Illinois. And they are focusing on those members that need to be the carries. As you said, the 4-0-3 Korean Danny. Zeno making the plays once again. This challenger member from the University of Illinois in his freshman year, really making an impact for the team.
And I'm loving that the Tiamat, when he uses a Q, the Tiamat goes off.
Oh boy.
Yeah, CKG.
CKG getting frozen. He should be able to flash out this. Glacial Fisher goes far. All right. It's just a little tit for tat there.
Still got the flash.
We can't use it. Yeah, that's the big part. Still got that flash.
Yeah. But like I was saying, I love that the Tiamat goes off on the Blade Surge. So when you're clearing minion waves, just one needs to be low, and then you'll keep constantly making other ones low. Tiamat active in there too. And
see this again. How he
look at Prototype. Gets disarmed there, then gets knocked up. Can't really do anything during that time. And now he hasn't really contributed too much damage in those last few seconds there. And that was very close. We saw that Project One almost got in range there to contest the smite, throw it down, but it was the smite that came down alongside the consume from Walrus. So Maryville get it. They're down in gold now. They have a banner and they have some Barons left. So it's what they do with this time that they have, this minute and 40 seconds.
That's exactly the point I was going to make. You take the Baron off the map, so University of Illinois can't make that their play. But what can you do with it now? You're still a little bit in that defense, trying to recuperate map lost. Zeno looking for pressure here, but good vision control by Maryville as they're still remembering to get that out. Nothing can fall apart here if you are behind.
Yeah, we talked about Zeno as the star carry here for Illinois. He's done so much work in this game. The fact that The lane went sour for him, and CKG got ahead.
It went really sour.
It went really sour, but he's able to stay up in CS, got himself back in the game, and now he's really putting pressure in the side lanes. He's actually got the most gold in the entire game. He has the TP, so his side lane pressure is better in 1-3-1 situations. If he can hold CKG to a lane and have the advantage with the global summoner spell, then he's in a fantastic spot, and he's really close to getting his Titanic Hydra as well, which looks like it'll be his third item here.
CKG gets up to great positions, but the team actually isn't ready. They're not there to pressure mid, relieve anything that could actually come to him. So a little disjointed in their positioning, but still getting that minion wave up, kind of acting as pressure.
And there's the Titanic Hydra completed for the Aurelia. Now you get to go for a little bit more defensive stats, potentially GA, but look at this CKG, 2v1.
Oh, Sterek's Gauge Rage coming off for Zeno. He's going to go right in on a CKG. The shields from Project One just made it a little too much of an advantage for Zeno, and they're going to press back on Maryville University in mid. Good takedown on the turret for some more global gold, but they have a lot of work to get to the base of Illinois.
Yeah, we saw so many people go bottom to try and keep CKG honest, and then he still stayed around. And this guy, he was at 2 items in a QSS versus 3 item Aurelia. He's essentially down an entire item in that fight. There's no way he's going to win that, even with all the true damage that he's going to do. The Aurelia came out on top, and now you get to see the counter push here with the numbers advantage. Illinois, they are poised to make this upset happen. The 2-0 that was not expected.
Not many times you see that negative Baron power play being a thing on the list. That it usually means the team is backed against the wall. They're making those plays almost to go for broke. Maryville University hanging on by a thread now as they lose their bottom lane turret, and they have only their base to defend. Zeno makes his way out. He knows the team is backing, so a little bit of breathing time for both teams, but that means at this point, Illinois only comes back harder.
There's really nothing on the map to take for the next minute here. The Infernal Drake will be up again. Green Danny is clearing the minion wave, and he already has his Nashers, so if he gets a needlessly large rod after this, it will be that semi-AP Varus build. Let's see what happens when he backs here if he locks one of those items in. This is where you pivot in the build, because it could be something like a, could go for extend, etc., but not enough really magic damage in the game to warrant that. So watching the inventory closely for the Varus. And it's a stopwatch. So yeah, I assume this is going to be towards the Zonias here. For him. And it's very annoying, because how often do you jump on a marksman or an AD carry and they Zonias? It allows the Varus to have an escape, essentially, or something that makes it so, like in that last fight when he got really low, he wouldn't have had somebody need to shield him. He could just Zonias at the end of it, or at the beginning when they dive on him. So this build, it actually works because he has a 1.0 AP ratio on his ultimate, and then his W also has an AP ratio for % of the target's max HP.
Right, when you pop the Blight.
Yeah, well, so it's % of the max HP when you pop the Blight. Now the W is also an active that does % missing HP. So you can use a lot of AP in Varus's kit. Right now, it's 4% per, but hold on.
Ornalt goes through. All right, it's just going to be onto one. Nuke feels good about that. Wait, they're turning right back around. DKG down. Now they're going to be able to take down Walrus. This could be the game as they are losing West on the bottom side of the fight. Prototype fighting, doing what he can.
You're right.
Saskio towards the bottom lane.
That might be it, Riv. We're looking at 33 minutes. These are 40-second death timers. I think Illinois just upset Maryville.
They came in saying number 8. It's just a number. It represents nothing about us. First, the defending champions, Maryville University. And Illinois now looks to take down Nexus turret number 1. A comeback from game 1. A complete stomping in game 2 as they knew what they needed to do. They knew where the Nexus was. And Illinois will move on in the Collegiate Championship.
A completely unexpected upset. A 2-0, not even 3 games, a clean 2-0, and they were almost identical. Maryville's winning the early game, but they play for the late game, they play as a team, and then they come out on top with the team fighting. And I gotta say, Zeno, we had heard coming in that he was the star of the team. He was the person who's going to do a lot of the carrying. This game really solidified that for me, where he was able to take down CKG. This Aurelia that was banned in game 1, I'm glad we saw it in game 2, but I don't know if we're going to see that thing again all tournament.
No, absolutely ridiculous play coming out of that as well. Xenos Talia to be taken out, but the rest of the team as well could stand up when they needed to. We saw Topopotamus getting hit up in the early game over and over. Did not do anything to his mental game, and he was able to still be there for his team. So all around great play by University of Illinois to go up against the defending champions, Maryville University.
That was David versus Goliath. That was the 8th seed that had to go from being knocked out of their conference finals to going through the playoffs or the play-ins.
Play-ins, right.
And they're basically essentially the wild card team of the tournament. Coming in 8th seed.
Very happy they came in and proving to themselves. They came in today saying too, we can do this. And you know what? The way it goes, you beat that #1 team, you can pretty much say we may have everything, and they may be in the right to do so.
Yeah, you take down Maryville, you could pretty much take down anybody in the tournament. Maryville, the defending champions, 4/5 of the same roster that won it last year, coming in saying we want to establish a dynasty. And right there, those hopes are already shattered by this up-and-coming group
It
from
could
Illinois.
be a new banner on that wall. There's the 2 UBCs from 2015 and 2016, and as you said, Maryville University is that 2017, and may very well be looking at your 2018 team. If they continue to play like that, we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves. A lot of games to play throughout this weekend, but what a great start and show after kind of having a few weeks off as well, but playing with your team, and then is still playing 2 batches back to be able to come into this and hit it that hard.
Yeah, and I'm surprised, very surprised by the fact that they took this risk with a composition that is mostly physical damage. They locked in the Varus for themselves on top of it, but like Illinois came here to say it's not just about those scholarship programs. It's not just about the fact that they're going to end up going against Maryville in the first round. A lot of teams come in and they go, oh, we're playing for fun now, because they set themselves up to be like, to be, disappointing.
Absolutely.
And they go, no, we can take them down. I even love the trash talk at the start where it's like, I don't even know anybody on that team from Maryville. I just know that Prototype was there. That's it.
Absolutely.
And in this game, we saw pretty much almost pound for pound, Maryville was winning the early parts of the lane phase, controlling vision.
A little bit.
But the team fighting is what came out on top.
It's absolutely ridiculous. The objective control for Maryville was actually quite good, but then they got themselves into trouble with the Baron. They had the Dragon or the Drakes in their favor, and this was a bit too much.
But this is a desperate situation here.
Yep.
For Maryville. Xeno goes in, he absorbs a lot of the damage, gets on a Prototype, kills him pretty much before the team even arrives. Sure, they don't get the Baron, but they get 3 people in that fight, and then they're able to take over, and that ends up being a 1,700 negative Baron power play for Maryville.
I think one of the interesting things is that we saw Maryville actually falling into those situations when they would have a lot of that early game control and then say, wait, we could be pushed into this now, because they may have taken a little too long with those controls. Our next one is that final fight, and just kind of seeing how Illinois continued to capitalize on these fights was amazing.
Yeah, but watch on the left side. CKG versus Xeno. He threw out the stun, dodges the riposte so he doesn't get counter-stunned, but then just obliterates CKG, who this Fiora is supposed to be, the grand duelist, supposed to be able to win these matchups, but no. Xeno is just so far ahead. He's done so well in this Aurelia, and it's an incredibly powerful pick, and we're seeing why it was banned.
Absolutely. I mean, if you have one blade or multiple blades, who are you going to take in that fight, Zyrene?
I'm going to take multiple blades. Not a betting man, but I would do that.
That's who came out on top. A great play all around from Illinois, and they were able to kind of come in with their own game plan. I always say I'm a fan of a champion select where you're not playing reactive. You're like, oh, they picked that, so we need to pick this. It seems like they picked what they wanted, and they played it the way they wanted to come in playing it, which is a great thing to see. To hear more from the team that upset the reigning champions, let's send it over to Avli May and the University of Illinois bot laner.
Thanks, guys. I am here with Curry and Danny. Congratulations on that upset victory. Now, before this series, we heard Prototype say that the only way that you were going to take them down was if you had some sort of cheese strat, because there was no way you were beating them with standard play. What do you have to say to him now?
So for the Prototype saying you have to only win by cheese, well, you saw the first game, and then you can prove ourselves that we can still play standard games and then compete with the last year champion, and then just do fine, and then go up to the leading and go for game 1 and game 2, and then just win the whole series. Yeah.
Win the whole series. You guys came in actually as the 8th seed, and your first game of the entire championship is taking on the 1st seed and the returning champions. What was going through your head coming into today?
So basically, our whole week schedule was play to win on Thursday, and then if you lose, just have fun through LA. But I guess that schedule's out of the way. We still have to practice for tomorrow's game and the Saturday's game. But into the last seeding game against Maryville, we just had a lot of nerves and a lot of tension against us because they were the favorite teams on this league. So we just had to practice and keep our mentality. I think having the right mindset was very important for us because not just the playing right, it's just we were kind of thought about them as the better team and better player, but we just try to think of it as a same player with same skill matchup. We just have to play better as an individual player and a team.
And it seemed like you guys were playing really great together as a team. I want to ask you about your mid laner, Zeno. He had some amazing walls popping off in game 1. What do you think of bringing him onto the team, and what do you think of his performance so far?
So I'm a senior in this team, and then I saw through what happened throughout the 3 years. And then this guy, Zeno, is a freshman, young and new, really fresh. And then he really gave us the potential to just carry the whole game by himself and shot call, and his individual skill is just beyond, I believe, other mid laner in our championship. So I think him having mid, if stronger, and then just popping off Talia ultis, whatever, I think it gives us a lot of good mentality and then have potential us to shine as well.
So now the freshman is taking over for the senior. But no, a senior in college, that's amazing. How do you end up balancing the League of Legends, esports life, college life, academics, and what else do you have on your plate?
Yeah, so definitely. Not just playing the game right, I think as a college student, it's important to balance and then just learn to take criticism between teammates. And then just, I think number one thing is time balance. So I work 2 part-time jobs and trying to play League and just do study as well. But I think I manage my time really well as a team and individually in order to just make the most out of the team I have as a college student. And also, I just want to thank God, and I just want to thank family and friends who made me come here through this stage.
Now, before I let you go, what are your part-time jobs and how have they affected your League of Legends play?
I have 2 serving jobs. I work for 1 Korean restaurant and I work for 1 Japanese restaurant. So basically, I serve in 2 different places, but it just made me humble as a person and then just learn to take criticism and just communicate between teammates and coach, staff members, and just really work the communication really well as a server and as a team player as well.
Well, Korean Danny, congratulations again on your victory, and I wish you the best of luck with your future matches. For everyone else, stick around because coming up next, we're going to see UT Dallas take on Columbia College.
And it's going to be the double bust from mid lane. Oh my God, that's huge for CKG.
Trust. Nice.
All right, don't Baron.
On Baron. In there too. And if you got Dovon, because his W.
Hold on. Wait, no! Nice blast! Oh, he lives.
No, look for fight. We have time.
Trist is down.
Yo, clean him up and then go run down mid, maybe?
Yeah,
Go top.
Be the game as they are losing West on the bottom side of the fight. Prototype fighting, doing what he can. You're right. Skill towards the bottom lane. Illinois will move on in the collegiate championship.